أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الغر الميامين ولعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: من كنت مولاه فعلي مولاه، اللهم وال من والاه وعاد من عاداه. أما بعد. Today, inshallah, we will be talking about the Imamat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam in its third session. The last two sessions, we discussed about the importance of aqa'id. The reason I'm going through some of the things that we discuss is for the new listeners that are listening to our lectures, so that they would have an idea that what we are going through. So we went through the importance of aqa'id and what imama actually means, and can Amir al-Mu'mineen as a title can be used for anyone else than Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam or not. After this, in last lecture, we went through this topic of imamat as part of Usul al-Din. Is it really applicable? Is it something relevant? Is it something that should be counted as part of Usul al-Din? We went through some of the objections that are being put forward. Does anyone who doesn't believe in Usul al-Din, is he a kafir every time? We said obviously not. Some of the Usul al-Din or the Usul al-Madhab, if someone doesn't believe in it, he might still be considered as a Muslim. Then we answered that what it means for him to be Muslim in this dunya, and how would he be treated on the day of judgment. Then we went through this concept of imama, and we went further ahead, and we discussed that imama is not something which is being appointed by the people, which is not something that the people are responsible doing it. It is Allah Almighty that has given the imama before. And how was it given? It was Allah who would be the one that would appoint the caliphs or the imams. The third thing we discussed is that imama is not something specifically which is related to Shias that consider that as part of their aqidah, as part of their usul al-din, as part of their theology. It is something that even Ahlul Sunnah, they considered it as part of their religion, as part of their aqidah. We give few examples, and just to give you one more example, we give examples from the book of theology, from different books, from As-Sunnah of Abdullah bin Ahmad bin Hanbal, from Tahawiyya, Aqidatul Tahawiyya, from Al-Ibana of Abu al-Hasan al-Ashari, and likewise we give some other examples too. One of the thing is that if you go and search the book As-Sawa'iqul Muharriqa, it's an additional reference that I think is important, and it is good for us to know that this book is written by whom? Ibn Hajar al-Makki. This book is written against the Shia Muslims, right? In this book, he has written a lot against us. Within it, he says, right, and he is quoting who? The Hanafi scholars. Some of the Hanafi scholars, if you go through their books, they have said that anyone who doesn't believe in the Khilafah of Shaykhain, who are Shaykhain? Abu Bakr and Umar. Anyone who doesn't believe in the Khilafah or the Imama, right, the successorship of Abu Bakr or Umar, right, that person is kafir, right? My question to you is that why would someone be a kafir if it's not part of Usul al-Din, as per Sunni understanding of it? Of course, they consider it is such a fundamental thing that anyone who doesn't believe in it, who doesn't believe that Abu Bakr and Umar were the rightly guided caliphs, they should be considered what? They should be considered as non-Muslims, kafirs. So let's suppose we the Shi'as, we don't believe in the Khilafah of Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. We believe that they usurped the right of Ahlul Bayt, all these three people. They came and they usurped the right of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. They were responsible for all the atrocities that took place against Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. These are the people that are responsible for whatever have gone through, whatever the things have been implemented and things that were followed on Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. These are the people that are responsible. And likewise, Muawiyah that came in, these were the ones that were responsible. So just keeping the long story short, we don't believe in the imamat and the khilafat of Abu Bakr and Umar. What are we? We are considered as what? We are considered as infidels. We are considered what? As non-Muslims, as per some of the Sunni scholars. I'm not saying everyone, but just to give you a context, it is such an important and fundamental thing that some of the Sunni scholars, they believe anyone who doesn't believe in the Khilafah of Abu Bakr and Umar is kafir. And likewise, every Sunni is almost, I would say, not say it's difficult for us to say for everyone. But the Orthodox school, they believe that anyone who doesn't believe in the Khilafah of Abu Bakr and Umar, at least they are fasiq. They are not the right people. They are wrong people. They are the evildoers. So if we are not kafir, at least we are evildoers in their eyes. Why? Because we don't believe in the imamat and the khilafat of Abu Bakr and Umar. So if it was something which was not really fundamental and which was not something which was not important, then why would you have these verdicts against the people that don't believe in the khilafat of Abu Bakr, Umar and Uthman? Right? So just to give you a context of why the things were said in which ways, right? So one of the question that people might be saying is that, brother, don't you think it's you're going with a little bit difficult tone against the people? Of course not. See, I personally, I would say we have to speak the truth and speak the truth with references. Speak the truth with dignity and with respect. Because when you are going to speak to one of your brother in future, if you are not well equipped with these references, if you are not well equipped with the concepts, how would you be able to deliver your speech and to tell your aqidah properly? How would you be able to do a criticism against the things that other people are believing in? The only way you can do it if you know the truth inside out, right? Also, if you know the truth with a context, with a reference. Otherwise, we cannot just go and start talking to the people without having the necessary knowledge and necessary understanding. Today, we are going to discuss an important topic, which is the concept of imama as per Ahlus Sunnah. See, when we are proving the khilafah or the imamat, generally there are two ways that we can prove the imamat or the khilafah. One way is through the nusus, through the ahadith, through Quran, and through the literature that we have, and we say that, see, these are the proof for the Imam of Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is the proof for the concept of the Imamah that the Shias have, right? That's one way to understand that. Obviously, we will be going through that too. The other way to do that is that since there are only two concepts, imagine if you have only two ways that you can approach one thing, and out of two ways, you know, one is right and one is wrong, right? They're mutually exclusive, right? There's only this way you can go through and find whatever you need to, or you can go this way and the left way and you try to achieve the thing you want. And it is 100% that either if you go through one of the way, you would be able to find the thing that you want to achieve. So these two paths are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive is what? If you are following one path, you cannot follow the other path. If you're following the other path, you cannot follow the first path. These are mutually exclusive. Likewise, we also know that one of it will surely lead to our destination. Please try to understand the thing that I'm trying to explain right now, because this is really important, right? So we know that if we follow one of the paths, we will be able to reach our destination, and we only have two mutually exclusive paths. What can I do to make sure I reach the path in the most easy way or the safest way? I can do one. I can prove the benefits of going through the path that I'm following. I can say this is the benefit of doing this. If you follow my path, here are the benefits, here are the things, here are the lifelines that you would have while you're walking in it, and this would ultimately lead you to the right destination. And the other way I can do is that I can do criticism of the second part, right? I would be, look, if you go through this part, these are the barriers that will be coming in it. These are the hurdles that will be in it. These are the problems that you would come across when you are going through that path, right? So here, to establish a truth, you have two ways to do it. First way is to give you the benefits, is to narrate you and quote you the benefits of following the right path and proving that our path is the right thing. The other way to do is that if there is an alternative path to it, I do criticism of that alternative path. Because if that thing is wrong, then what it follows with, if that path is wrong, then obviously the other path is true, because these two are mutually exclusive thing. And as we have established that one of it will lead to the right destination. Likewise, to achieve the understanding who is the rightly guided caliph and whose concept of imama is right. There are only generally two concepts of imama in this ummah. If you start from this scratch, not talking about the details that were followed after that. But let's start from the root. The root thing that when you start with, there are only two ways that you can have an understanding of imama. One is the Sunni way of understanding, the other one is the Shia way of understanding. Okay? These are two mutually exclusive paths. The Shia doesn't believe that the imama can be appointed by the people. Sunnis believe it can be appointed by the people. So here we have two mutually exclusive paths, right? When we have two mutually exclusive paths, right, what are we left with then? One is to prove that my path is right. And inshallah, our discussions, most of our discussions that will be coming in is to prove that. The second way is to do a criticism and to critique the second path, the Sunni path of Khilafah, and to show you how futile that path is, how bad that path is. And if I can prove that that path is not right, then automatically the other path would be considered what? Would be considered true. Okay? So here we establish two mutually exclusive paths, right? What is the Sunni concept of imama? Inshallah, in this lecture, in few minutes, we will be discussing about this concept. The ajib thing is that, see, they don't have any established thing from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? What do they believe? They believe that since Abu Bakr was appointed by Umar, because Umar was one that gave the bay'ah to Abu Bakr, right? So since Abu Bakr was appointed by few people, so it is completely fine if few people do bay'ah. If few people give pledge of allegiance to one single person, that person would be considered as what? That person would be considered as caliph. Then second caliph came in. But this second caliph wasn't appointed by the people. Abu Bakr directly appointed Umar ibn al-Khattab. So now they have a new way coming in. The new way is what? To direct appointment. You know, these are the same people that have problem with the appointment of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam. That wouldn't consider this because they would say that the Khilafah is through Shura. Inshallah, one lecture I'm going to discuss that too. The Khilafah is through a council. The Khilafah is through what? Through the people sitting together and deciding who should be the caliph. But how was Abu Bakr, how did Abu Bakr appoint Umar ibn al-Khattab? Umar was appointed by Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr was on his deathbed. He fainted. While he fainted, Uthman ibn Affan, the third caliph, he wrote the name of Umar ibn al-Khattab in it. And when Abu Bakr came into the conscious, he said, what have you written? He said, I have written the name of Umar ibn al-Khattab. To which Abu Bakr said, you did the right thing. So imagine caliph being appointed like this. Then the third caliph, how did he come into being? He was appointed by a council of 6 people. Not all of them were agreeing on him. How many people were in that council? 6 people. What were the names? Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas, Talha, Zubair, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam, and Uthman ibn Affan. 6 people in it. So the decision was from Umar ibn al-Khattab that anyone the majority, what they select as caliph should be as caliph. So Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he selected Uthman. Talha, he selected Uthman. Zubair wanted Amir al-Mu'mineen at that time. Zubair was a follower and was a supporter of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And he became really deviated at the end of his life. That's a separate topic. And through that council, they again did injustice to Amir al-Mu'mineen and Uthman was appointed. So now we have three ways. Then Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam, when he came in, Sallallahu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, Assalamu alayka ya Abul Hassan, ya Ali ibn Abi Talib. Our salams and our blessings to Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen was appointed the best way anyone can be appointed. People were rushing towards Amir al-Mu'mineen. They were rushing, "Oh Amir al-Mu'mineen, oh Ali ibn Abi Talib, you have to be our leader." This was the way Amir al-Mu'mineen was appointed. But then Muawiyah came in. The way Muawiyah came in through force. He wasn't appointed by the people. He just came in, he had a martial law kind of thing, and he became caliph like that. So now you have four ways. One is without any appointment, one person or few people appointing someone as caliph. Then you have Abu Bakr directly appointing Umar as caliph. Then you have another way, which is through shura, through a council in which there are people that are sitting in. And out of those 6 people, only 3 or 4 people, they accept Uthman as caliph. And out of those 3-4 people, Uthman was declared as caliph. And then you had Muawiyah coming in, and Muawiyah got the khilafah through what? Through force, through coercion, through martial law, I would say, like in present understanding. All of these ways are being considered what? They are considered legal. Astaghfirullah. They are considered right. And that's why Mullah Ali Qari, na'udhu billah, you see Mullah Ali Qari in his book, Sharh Fiqh al-Akbar. Al-Fiqh al-Akbar is a book which is attributed to Abu Hanifa. Mullah Ali Qari wrote a commentary on it. And when he discussed the 12 caliphs that these people have, who he named? He named Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Muawiyah, and who he named more? Yazid ibn Muawiyah. Why? Because this is their understanding of this concept of Imamah and Khilafah. And obviously, if you would have wrong understanding of this Imamah and Khilafah, then what would come across? We would have come across these stupid names within it. And now we come to this concept, right? It's always, see, there is always a misconception that people have. That misconception is what? That the Shia believes that the Imamah is appointed by Allah. That's completely fine. But Sunnis, they believe in democracy. They believe that, a caliph should be appointed by the consensus of the people. Is that actually right? Is that the actual understanding of Ahl Sunnah scholars? That's a complete lie. Why? Because Ahl Sunnah scholars, they have written something different. The first scholar that I want to quote is what? Qurtubi, right? He has a book on tafsir. It's called Al-Jami'u li-Ahkam al-Quran. In volume number 1, page number 272, he says that when someone, how can someone be an imam? The imam can be through a council when there are few people within that council that declare someone as an imam. What does that mean? It means that there is no concept of voting. There is just like a small council which includes like 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, and khalas, he's an imam after the discussion and after whoever they choose as an imam. Is there any voting from the people? No, there's no voting from the people. Likewise, this is important to say. He says, أَوْ بِوَاحِدٍ. An imam can become how? If one person, even one person, if that one person appoints another one as an imam, that person would be called an imam. One person is good enough. And likewise, we have another book from Ahkam al-Sultaniyya. And this Ahkam al-Sultaniyya is written by Mawardi. Mawardi has given few sayings of different Sunni school of thought, different Sunni scholars. that believe that imam can be appointed by how many people? By 6 people. So if you have 6 people, that's good enough that the imama will be established. Some of the Sunni scholars believe only in 5 people accepting someone as an imama. Imagine in today's world, if you think, imagine in Baghdad, imagine in Syria, if 5 people from this Muslim ummah would declare someone as caliph, that caliph is khalifa of all Muslims living in this world. You people living in Canada, your imam is who? Your imam is the one who was being appointed in Baghdad, who is being appointed in Syria by how many people? 5 people. And as per Qurtubi, 1 person appointing. Even if 1 person gives a bay'ah to another one, that person is the imam of all the Muslim world. All the Muslim world. They need to follow who? They need to follow him. And Allama Mawardi further says that as per Ahl Kufa, even if 3 people give, even if 3 people, they establish or they declare someone as an imam, right? And then he mentions another thing. He says, as per some of group of scholars, even if 1 person declares another one as an imam, his imama and khilafa would be established. So people that are saying that their system is democratic system, my question to them is that, can you have the real democracy within you when you have 1 person appointing someone as an imam, when you have 3 person appointing someone else as an imam, when you have 5 people appointing someone else as an imam, when you have 6 people appointing someone as an imam? Of course, that's not a democracy. Of course, that's not the right way to go forward. How can we establish that 1 person who is declaring another one as an imam, that person is rightful, that person is just? Of course not. And how can you make sure, and how can you prove that 1 person selecting an imam, following that imam is wajib upon all Muslim ummah? Everyone in this Muslim world need to follow that imam. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. Of course, that's not right. And that's the way. And you know, when you go forward, and this is from Baqallani. Baqallani has a book called Tamheedul Awail. Tamheedul Awail is the name of the book. He says, وَقَالَ الْجَمْهُورِ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْإِثْبَاتِ وَأَصْحَابِ الْحَدِيثِ لا ينخلعوا بهذه الأمور ولا يجب الخروج عليه بل يجب وعظه وتخويفه, etc. What he says, Baqallani, this is another concept. So their imam, they can make imam even by 1 person. Now if someone becomes an imam and he is an openly sinful person, he doesn't openly, he is the one that would go in the bar and would have what? Would have a whiskey there. He is a person that would do all kinds of sinful things that you can think about. That person is called what? He is a fasiq. Right? That kind of a person is called what? Fasiq. Baqallani is saying in his book Tamheedul Awail that the Jumhur, the majority of the scholars from Ahlul Hadith, from the people that are quoting a hadith, and from the scholars, the majority of Sunni scholars, their belief is that anyone who commits openly sinful actions, that person would still remain an imam. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. Imagine doing all kinds of sinful things. You would still be counted as what? As an imam of this Muslim ummah. And then he quotes, he says, وَاحْتَجُّوا فِي ذَلِكَ بِأَخْبَارٍ كَثِيرَةٍ مُتَظَاهِرَةٍ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم وعن أصحابه في وجوب طاعة الأئمة وإن جاروا واستأثاروا بالأموال. That there are multiple platitude of hadith that are present on this topic, that if imam, if someone who is leading this whole Muslim ummah, even if he is doing oppression, even if he is oppressing someone, even if he is committing all kinds of financial disservices, he is doing a lot of corruptions, even then it is wajib for Muslims to follow him. وجوب طاعة الأئمة. It's not even like a choice. It is wajib upon you, even if it happens. Do you believe in this concept of imamah? Imagine Yazid drinking alcohol, doing all kind of bad things, but since he's the imam of a time, we need to follow him. Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu ilayh. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And that's not something that even only Mawardi has written. Same thing, Allama Badruddin Aini al-Hanfi. He is a famous Hanfi scholar. He has written in his book Al-Inaya, Sharh al-Hidayah, volume 7, page number 256. Same thing is written there, right? And this is the concept. So see, one concept is what? How many people you need to become an imam. So we said 1, 3, 5, 6, right? Even one person doing it is good enough. And then if someone is committing open sins, even then their imamah is completely fine. It is wajib upon Muslims to hear and listen to him. And then we have third thing, which is, remember I gave you an example of Muawiyah coming to force through military means. Then the Sunnis, their concept is that if someone who comes through the military means, who comes through qahr, who comes through force, that person becomes an imam too. This is from Raddul Mukhtar ala Durr al-Mukhtar, volume number 1, page number 549. And it's a famous Hanfi text, right? It says, Man tawalla bil kahri wal ghalabati bila mubayi'atin. That anyone, see, this is the thing. So Sunnis are saying, sometimes they are portraying as what? The Shias are really non-democratic people, right? They don't believe in democracy. And we are the people that are believing in democracy. I mean, inshallah, I'm not talking about this topic of democracy. That's for a separate day, right? But this is what it's in their text. He is saying that anyone who comes through force and he doesn't have the pledge of allegiance of the people, even then he is the rightful imam, right? وَتَصِحُ سُلْطَنَةُ مُتَغَلِّبٍ. Anyone who comes through force, his government is completely fine. And in Fath al-Bari by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, volume number 13, page number 7, it says, وَقَدْ أَجْمَعُ الْفُقَهَاءُ عَلَى وُجُوبِ طَاعَةِ السُّلْطَانِ الْمُتَغَلِّبِ. That anyone who has come through force, the Sunni fuqha, أجمع الفقهاء, what? They have a consensus. They are unanimous. They have an agreed upon opinion on what? Anyone who comes through force, through military means, that person should be respected, and he is the imam of the time. So here we have the imamat concept, the concept of the imamah. What would you say on this concept of imamah? Will you be able to justify it? This is a really non-democratic system, of course. The thing that you are saying and you're accusing Shias of not following it, you yourself are the people that are not following it. We believe that imamah is not through the people. It is from Allah Almighty. And imams can never commit a sin. Can never commit a sin for 1 second, right? Imam is ma'soom. There is a beautiful hadith, unfortunately running out of time. And this hadith is from Imam Rada alayhi salatu wassalam in Al-Kafi, volume 1, page 200. He has described Imam in such a beautiful way that the Imam is the one who is the rule of Islam. He is the one who is responsible for making sure that the prayers are being established. He is the one that's making sure that the fasting is being established properly, the Hajj is being done properly, the Jihad is being taken care of properly, and he is the one that's making Allah's halal as halal. He is forbidding from the things that Allah has made haram. And there are so many other details that Imam is telling about the qualities of an Imam. And today we are discussing the Imamat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. And obviously one system you have, which is really, I would say, a really pathetic system in a way that it has all those negative things that a person can think about. And then you have another pristine system of the imamat of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. It is upon you to decide which path you need to follow. And today it is the shab of the darbat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam in Fajr time tomorrow, when in Masjid al-Kufa Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam will be going and will be addressing and will be praying and will be leading the imamat of the salah, will be leading the namaz of 19th of Ramadan. Then there will be a byproduct, a product of this zalim, this product of a really cruel system of the Khilafah of Ahl Sunnah, who would be responsible for killing Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. Who is he? He is Abdul Rahman ibn Muljam. Who was he? He was really well respected by whom? Umar ibn al-Khattab. Umar ibn al-Khattab used to respect him. And there's a whole detail about what followed and what led to the demise and the shahada of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, and who were the people that were responsible for this act. Inshallah, if we have time in future classes, we can discuss that. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad